Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. So I wanted to do a part two to this video um, and just talk more about the reading. Again, this is a timeless reading. Could have already happened, could be happening now, could happen in the future for you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. If this is take take what resonates and leave the rest. If it doesn't fit, do not try and force it. Another reading might be better for you. Um, if you want to work with me on individual, couples, groups, speaking engagements, twin flame stuff, getting into union, staying in union, working on the union. If you want to work on attracting the wealth, the riches, the abundance, the success, the friendships, the love, the reduced worry and stress, the ideal weight, just in general, the life you desire and deserve. Feel free to reach out to me. My information is in the description below, and I would be happy to talk with you and see if we would be a good fit to work together. So I was into the emotional currency thing in part one a lot, and just wanted to get back a little bit to the reading side. So Divine Masculine has been, well, some songs have been coming up. What I've been seeing has been a lot of kids, a lot of mom with kids, dad with kids, a lot of kids. And that's been from the beginning. And so I think your divine masculine or divine feminine wants some kids. That's what they're trying to communicate to you collective, that they want some kids, that they want also, like I was talking about, your undivided attention, and not necessarily like 24/7 your undivided attention, but I mean, especially when you're alone, but at some part of the day, they want you to just focus on them. Um, and maybe at times throughout the day, I think it is tough for young lovers, is what I would say, and any lovers in general. It's tough because the world continues to go around. People got to work, people got to eat, people got to pay bills, people got to be at appointments and this and that, and you know all kinds of things, health issues, um, all kinds of things are coming up for everyone. And I think it's important for us to remember that in the midst of all of that, everyone is still, like, not everyone, but a lot of people are still trying to fall in love, still trying to see, what's out there. They want to be happy. They want to, find the one for them. And especially, this is funny, as Valentine's Day is coming up, and maybe what I'll do is a little offer a little webinar. It's probably would be fun to do that. I'm going to do that for Valentine's Day, but just I've been doing 8 weeks till the wedding. So just sort of like the blueprint for getting from where you are to the wedding, but you need to, people, everyone, collective, we all need to understand we are at a certain place, and we may not be ready for the wedding, and our partner might not be ready for the wedding in 8 weeks. So it's just taking the time that you need, but getting you prepared. Now, understand, some people ain't gonna get there in 8 weeks. You don't have to get there in 8 weeks. The point is, this is an 8-week training, but the point of all of it, of any of it, is to get prepared, to get where you need to be, so that you can be marriage material. Because a lot of people say they marriage material, I'm marriage material, whatever. You're not marriage material, or someone else might not be marriage material. Maybe you are, but maybe you're not. And it's important to admit if it's true. You're not. Okay. Well, then focus on what you need to do to get ready. And I think a lot of people need to look at that like, okay, they want to get married, they want the ring, they want somebody to put a ring on in 8 weeks. You may not be ready in 8 weeks. And you need to be honest with yourself about it. Maybe it's 9 weeks. Maybe you'd be ready in 7 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. But if you're not ready, don't try to force it, don't try to force it on someone. Don't try to force yourself on someone. Get ready. And the thing is, you don't have to be perfect to be in a relationship, to be married, to be, as you can see, because a lot of people that are in relationships, unions, whatever, married. No, it's an ongoing process. We're always becoming. It seems like we're always being remade, but it's important, to embrace that. It's okay. You have the rest of your life together, working on you, working on them, working on this union, marriage, partnership, relationship, whatever, trying to get ready. It's okay. You're always becoming. You don't want to get caught up or hung up on perfectionism. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be okay. I would say some people ain't okay and they're still in a relationship or married or whatever it is. It doesn't take perfection to be married. It just takes, I think, willingness to be married. But if you want it to be successful, you want to thrive, you really want to build something, you really want to get something out of it, then you will. I think the two of you as partners need to know that every relationship that you were in up until the point that you met each other, if you're twin flames, let's just say it like that, is for preparing you for this union. And I think people have doubts and have questions, and they I was talking to a friend about this, that some people are very kind people. They're sweet, they're good people. They don't want for someone to fool them, that they don't see it coming, that they don't have, right now, maybe they haven't developed it or they're not listening to their intuition, whatever it is. And they don't see it coming. They're completely blindsided by someone and they get, knocked for, they get knocked out. But it doesn't happen to everyone. For some people, they're really nice, they're kind, they're sweet, they're good people, genuinely good character, and they meet someone who's also genuinely good character and all of that. It's important to just consider, you can look for the perfect person to come along, and no one is perfect, so that's never going to happen. Or you could you could trust your intuition, and I'm going to come back to that, but you could trust your intuition because it's 100% right, and you can find the person who's perfect for you. And it can work and it can last. I think a lot of people are afraid. It's true that they will get knocked out, just like I was talking about. They're looking for a sign that the person is going to hurt them so they can run for the hills because they feel safer. They feel like, well, this what happened to me before is never going to happen to me again. So let me just look at, look at this person with a critical eye in every single thing that they do. Like I'm judging every single thing. But you got to think about it. Someone is judging you too. While you thinking, well, they can't be this and they can't be that. Well, the other person has every right to say you can't be this and you can't be that. I think that's, for a lot of people, that's a misconception. You think that you're the only one who has criteria, who can judge, who could say they want you or they don't want you. You think that you're a perfect person, and then people start pointing stuff out to you, and you'd be like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Everyone has their criteria. So it's important, for you to consider the playing field is level. With some people, you ain't got no advantage. Some people are going to say straight up, I want a good person too. I want this, I want that. But you're not the only one who gets to call shots in this. Both of us do. It would be a power differential. And it's not fair if just one person gets to say, this is everything. It has to go my way or the highway. Okay. It's not going to work. And you know that. But let me get back to this. I know I sometimes went off on a tangent on that one, but Divine Masculine wants to know that you're going to be there for him. There's certain things that he wants. The thing is, he knows that you're going to be there for him. I think there's this fear that he can't trust it, I don't even know that he trusts himself or she trusts herself to be a good judge of what's right or wrong or good or bad or whatever in the relationship. And that is scary for a person because they were wrong before. They're like, dang, I thought I was a good judge of character. I thought I knew people. And this person just totally fooled me. And okay, this is why for me, this is a spiritual game. Because there's no way that I could catch every single thing about a person. But God be exposing everything that I need to know about this person. Every person. It's not me. I always will say that. As human beings, we are not that intelligent. But something else that I want to do another video. I'm going to come back to that. But it's important to remember as human beings, we're not that intelligent. So, feel free to lean on the spirit to show you and tell you what you need to know and what you need to see. And then when the spirit shows you, trust it. Yeah. You ask for it. So trust it when you get the truth. Trust it. I know a lot of people don't, and they're not used to it, and they don't want to walk away from certain situations. But if you ask and God shows you, I would say, listen. That's what I would say. Follow, trust your intuition. And if you don't, then why would you complain when you get the results that you are going to get? Because you know the truth. You knew the truth. You just didn't serve it. So when I say serve the truth, what I mean is if someone came out with an axe or a gun or something and said they're a serial killer and you could be next and you don't leave and you know that they're serious, anything could happen to you and you should expect anything to happen to you. But if you have no idea and they're, trying to attack you and they're being, trying to be slick about it and all this is different. But you had no red flags and all that stuff. You just wouldn't know. But but your intuition is 100% right. So you usually get red flags about things unless you just been saying shh, shh, shh to the spirit until the spirit is almost nothing, like almost a whisper, if a whisper, nothing, no nothing, because you just won't listen. And you never did. So learning to trust your intuition is important. That means before you think anything, there is knowing, you know, and it pops up and you know it because you didn't think it up. You just know it. And sometimes you say, let me just look at this. Let me just look at that. I know something just told me that's a spirit usually. Now, some people say that and I don't know what it is, but it is not God. But for other people, yes, they say, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just check into that. And then they start to see the reason that red flags came up. And again, if you know the truth and you don't serve the truth, you might as well, just, it doesn't make sense for you not to. But I've been seeing kids, I've been seeing mom with kids, dad with kids, just kids, seeing, pets, kids and pets, mom and pet, dad and pet, all, everyone with the pet and the kids. I've been hearing the song, Tyrese song. I was excited because I was falling in love with you. Now that I've fallen, what am I going to do? It's one thing to you are gunning often to fall in love, and then when you fall in love, sometimes you're like, okay, now what do I do? How do we maintain it? How do we keep it? How do we help this relationship or partnership or union, marriage, whatever, to thrive? And for me, I'm big on warning the person if something is going to change. And for some people, they like, yeah, I see what you're saying, but no, they're not agreeing to it. It's tough sometimes. Because like I said, if not 24/7, which is pretty much impossible, because you're going to focus some time on yourself and work and whatever if you do that. But at some points throughout the day, the divine masculine wants you to focus on him because it's sweet. He wants your attention. He wants you to be there. I would say part of it is to bear witness, whether it's bearing witness to his successes, bearing witness just to him being whatever it is, because maybe he didn't have that. We all also got to remember, I mean, like I said, I was talking about the love languages before. Everyone wants and deserves for their emotional tank to be full. But another part of that is, and it is important, you have to love yourself because no one can give you that. You have to love yourself. You got to be okay with you because no one's going to be able to give you attention, validate you, and all that 24/7. That's not going to happen. It's unrealistic. But at times, yes, people can tell you're doing a great job, praise you, whatever, give you accolades and tell you you're doing a great job and, you're fantastic. You are wonderful. No one is better than you. Know that, and that what's true is that you don't have any competition. You're just always trying to beat your best self. And you can't because you are your best self. So you always win either way. But what I'm saying is just remember that it's important for you to love yourself. If we're getting into the root, I know we get into some things now. We might as well just keep going. If we're talking about the root of why we want attention, maybe no, we talking about as kids, maybe we were starved for it. Maybe no one paid attention. Maybe we said, maybe this didn't happen to people, and maybe some people just want attention. But maybe it did happen. Maybe some people are left alone and they didn't have anyone to validate them. They didn't validate themselves. They didn't know how to do that. You got to be taught that as well too. But it's important to remember where that can come from. Sometimes, like I said, self-love is key. That you need that. Because there's also a part, when you think about it, for some people, they get into relationships with people that they think, okay, this person is great, or they're this, or they're that, whatever. And they treat them like trash, and they're in love. So it's hard to get out of it, when you're in love with someone. It's hard to walk away. And some people know that, and some people just really dog you out, basically. So when you meet someone who isn't going to dog you out, they're not going to treat you bad like that. They're not going to do you dirty. It's kind of like it's surprising. It's a good trauma. And what I mean is, of course, it's shocking and all that, just like a trauma, but it's a good thing that happened. And the person is a good person. Just keep in mind that good traumas can happen too. But it can be very traumatic for a person to go through experiences where they are in love, they make themselves vulnerable, they're open, and they get taken advantage of. So when Divine Masculine met you, it was probably years after, it was terrible, maybe stuff that happened like that where they were taken advantage of, they were dogged out, treated bad, and all this stuff. And then you come to them and they're like, well, everyone else did this terrible stuff to me. How do I know that this person is a good person? And then you have to go back to who taught you. Was it the type of person that would take advantage of you, that would, treat you bad, that would lead you astray, that would lie to you? Like, some people are deceptive that way. Some people who are supposed to be mentors are not. They're just masquerading. They're pretending to be mentors. They're just acting like mentors. They're not. They're not wise. Remember that everyone who's in the position of guru or teacher they're not in their rightful position. And sometimes you need to make sure that you're always ask God, 100% of the time, ask God to show you who you're dealing with. Because if they're not gurus, if they're not teachers, if they're not, then you can't be listening to people that's giving you wrong information. I don't know. It's just such a revelation sometimes when you actually start to get your bearings and you get understanding about certain things. You start to see people who you thought were teachers or gurus. They're not. They were not from the beginning. They're just acting, or they found someone that they were a little bit, smarter than they felt like, or they had an advantage over, or whatever. And so they felt like, okay, I could lead this person. I could get a lot out of this person. And that's what they do if they can. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Some people do it. When in this case, when divine masculine or divine feminine, when they finally find someone who is truthful, who is honest, who is kind, sweet, loyal, giving, caring, all that stuff that they wanted, and especially if they were taught by a false or fake teacher, then they don't know what's true and what's lies. And the person who, divine masculine, divine feminine might be saying, I don't know. At some point, I think they just admit, I'm stumped. I have no idea if this person is good or bad or not. Because everything that I thought I was looking for is in them. That's you, collective. They found everything that they're looking for. And this is, let me just say this. This is pretty powerful too. When you think about a celebrity, right? Even if it's like a local celebrity, what I mean is like a person that's hood rich or whatever, hood star. They have often a lot of popularity because they have so many of those qualities that everyone is looking for. And you're like, well, what makes a person popular? Well, they're intelligent, well, they're successful, they're charismatic, that like they have so much energy. People want to be around them. They're smart. That, I know I said intelligent, but they're funny. They are personable. They're human. They have flaws. So many different things are true about them. They're wise. There are a lot of things. They have a lot of things that a lot of people don't have. They're good looking, all these different things. And I think that's a lot of what can go into making a person quote unquote popular. But so for the divine masculine, getting back to that, they find a person that's that, like all those qualities. And at first they thought, okay, well, this, this, whatever. Are they famous? Are they rich? Are they this? Are they that? These are the qualities that I think the person might be looking for to show them, okay, this is the one. This is a great person. This is a quality person. This is, because maybe they think it's not just a person that's hood rich, right? That's a hood star. It's a person that's like a mega superstar and they gotta, they have all these things. Well, the people that are the best people be low key. Often they don't want all that stuff. Like Mother Teresa, let's say. They just want to be good people. They just want to help. They just want to, like they ain't swayed by the fame or, the riches or any of that. They like, I just want to be a good person. I just want to live my life. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to lift people up. And maybe it isn't like super mega star type, but maybe it's like the story of the star thrower. Like why, I think the star thrower goes along the beach and, finds starfish that are out of the water and flings them back in. And this person, this is what I remember the story. And so don't quote me on it, please. But the most important part is the someone asked the star thrower, why are you doing that? There's so many starfish on the shore, washed up on the shore. There's no way that you could get all those starfish. Why are you doing that? And the star thrower said, picked up a starfish, threw it back in the ocean, and said, it matters to that one. So one person, if you reach one person, like it's a world of difference, more than a world, but because they touch so many different people worlds and all that stuff, but people's worlds. But for a person, like I'm saying, I think maybe they don't know how to judge character. So they go off of these metrics, like I'm talking about, like, well, as a person, they got to be rich, they got to be famous, they got to be rich and famous, they got to be this, they got to be that. And then that's how you can tell. And then when they start to observe the person that's completely not that person, they're saying, well, they're not anything like they're supposed to be, according to what the books or what, the gurus that taught me, whatever. They're not really their faith, but according to what they taught me, I thought this would be what they look like. This would be what they are. But that's not what they are. They don't look like that. That's not them, you know? So what do I do now? Do I take the person at first face value, or do I discard them because they don't fit in? I mean, they are what I want. They don't show any red flags, but now I'm confused because now I thought I knew what a red flag was, and I don't know what a red flag is. So now they're like talking to this person that's supposed to be, the enemy, right? The lover or whatever that doesn't fit into any of those characteristics, none of those categories, none of those, standards or metrics or whatever that they measure a good person or whatever by. They don't fit into any of those things, and they find themselves being the student to the person who might be able to hurt them the most. The thing is, when you can trust a person, you find some person that you can trust. I mean, for a lot of people, they do. They say, okay, well, I guess this is it. The things that they say ring true. I can trust them. I mean, they could tear me to shreds. But they haven't. And I don't think they will. So what happens? What do I do now? So it's a dilemma. I know I've gone quite far in this video. But I just thought, I'll just keep going and see where it goes. But getting back to it, so the divine masculine found someone, divine feminine found someone. It doesn't fit any of those, standards that a person would say if they're going to be, a celebrity, this, that. That's how you can tell if they're the best person. That's not true. But they don't want to let the person go because they feel like they found something. And if they're truly a good judge, and they don't think they are, but they're truly, somehow, some way, they found their way back to the truth. They don't want to let it go. So if they did really find a good person, then it's great. And there are a lot of good people out there still, but a lot of them are hiding because they don't want to be around the bad people. And there are people who would tell you that they're good people, and you think that they're a good person, so they come face to face with a good person, and they get exposed as a fraud. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. It sometimes happens. Divine masculine is puzzled, but because of how good you are as a person, collective, and they didn't expect to find you. They thought, whatever, people say there's good people out there. I don't believe it. I haven't met them. I haven't ran into anyone yet. I always run into people who take advantage of me and blah, blah, blah. I'm an expert at knowing, and they met you and they stumped. They don't know how to respond, react. What do they do now? Because they finally found the person that they were looking for. And now they have to be, they got to put their money where their mouth is now. It's a challenge, but because now they have to revisit all those things that they thought they knew about love, about truth, and all that stuff. They got to revisit all those things they thought they knew. It's challenging. Really, you turn their world upside down. Thank you. um, but I think on both sides, both you and the divine masculine, or in your case, if it's divine feminine, both of you still have to grow. And like I said, you're never done. You never reach perfection. You're always just becoming. And so you don't have to think that you're perfect, that you got to be perfect either. You just work on it, and you work on it together. But it's important, as I was saying in the previous video, the thing about making sure that you, at some point, during the day, or maybe at points throughout the day, that you work it out so that both of you get emotional currency. Both of you get your emotional tanks filled, or at least there's a part, there's some gas in the tank. Because if you don't, I would say the relationship, it'll be hard for it to thrive or survive at all. Trying to think if there's anything else that I want to add to this, but just some of the songs that have been coming up. A song that's coming up now, I don't know why. I thought that you might have some advice to give on how to be insensitive. It's one of those songs, one of those old school songs. Insensitive, that maybe at times either that you're being insensitive, or you feel like your partner is being insensitive. Just make sure that you're trying to be sensitive to the other person's needs. And like I said, you don't want to get all your needs met and the other person doesn't get anything, no emotional currency, no nothing to try to get a little full. And I think it's also important, because some people find out that a person, wants a certain thing in the relationship, and they're like, they're weak, they're this, they're that, they start judging. But what you want out of the relationship, when you want something, is okay. That's not fair. So being judgmental is also something you don't want to be, because just because you don't value a certain thing, or you think it's dumb, doesn't mean that the other person doesn't value it. And they might think that whatever you think about is what you want is dumb, but they're trying to humor you because they think, well, you're a good person. They want you to stay as their partner. They want the relationship to thrive, to work. Some people don't even know what a good relationship is, but Divine masculine is saying, or divine feminine, depending on your situation. They've been with you, they've observed you for a while, they want to get closer. They are getting closer to you. They want to trust. They're getting what they want, some of what they want. They can get more, you can get more as well. They're discovering what you love. You're discovering what they love and all this stuff. However they're communicating it, or however you're communicating it. But it's important. Stay open. I would say continue to listen to, watch, read stuff that's going to lift you up, because spiritual warfare is real. Recently, I learned that some people get real mad if you don't let them get close, you don't let them know about what's going on in your life, in your business. And for some people, because of how much they talk, how much they tell everybody everything, I'm sorry, I cannot have that. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I'm not letting everybody in. I'm not sorry that I'm not letting everyone get close to me. I'm sorry that I'm not trying to stay close to someone else that's a terrible person. They think they're a good person, and then they lash out of anger and all that stuff. Oh, people can be pretty interesting, but this is why I'm saying to you, make sure that you watch, listen to, read stuff that's going to lift you up, and make sure that you're not allowing just anybody to get close to you. Make sure that are believing, asking God to show you who's a good person, who's not a good person, and all that. Make sure that you're telling the truth to the people that you love so that they don't go bad. But make sure that as much as possible you want to, try to find out each other's love language or what fills each other up emotionally, and then try to do those things within reason, I would say. And I know some people say common sense. Often I don't think things are common sense. I think that if you want to communicate it, you just let a person know. All right, I think that's it. I'm going to sign off for now, but just keep in mind, some of the things that you think are meaningless or don't matter to you or dumb are things that are really important to the other person. Just be respectful, just be sensitive, just be kind. Expect the divine masculine to get closer, continue to get closer, to want to be affectionate toward you, to want to know more about you, to try to find roundabout ways to find out. And they might be frustrated because they are not like this. The stuff they usually try with people is not working with you, but they're still intrigued and they're still interested. So they're not going anywhere. They just sometimes don't know how to communicate to you whatever they want to communicate, want you to know. I would say just continue knowing that they're trying to get closer. They're trying to communicate in the best way they know how, but I think for a lot of people, they're more action and less talking, depending on what their life is like and all that stuff, because some of you have met some emperors, as they would say, some people that are, pretty wealthy, pretty successful, pretty rich, pretty intelligent, astute, perceptive, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And they're they might not have a lot of time, all the time. Like if they want to, they'll make time for you, but I think that comes over time, if that makes any sense. That it might not be in the very beginning of the relationship or situation or whatever, that it might be later once they believe that they can trust you more and can get closer to you, allow you to get closer to them. You're not going to try to hurt them and all that stuff. But I think some people play that game of, I'm not giving you my time, because all you might try to do is trash it, and you don't care, and you just take advantage of me and all this stuff. But they have to learn to trust, because they've been, you want to be patient with people, because they might have been through a lot that you don't know about. And they don't know what you've been through either. But I think sometimes people are just trying to take care of their wounds. And it's nothing against you. All right. So again, I said I was going to sign off. I am really this time. So thank you again for joining me. I'm going to bring you another video soon. Excited to share more with you about this topic. And see you soon. As always, I say happy lightning fast manifesting. Okay. Bye for now.